Poor Supreme Court Justice Sam Alito. He's all upset that nobody supports the Supreme Court anymore. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. So poor Sam Alito says all this criticism of the U.S. Supreme Court is unfair. And this is, by the way, my favorite statement of his, saying that practically nobody is defending us. According to the Wall Street Journal, all the negativity actually made them targets of assassination. Poor Sam Alito. So what's his response? Well, he turns around and accuses other people of leaking the Dobbs decision. Of course, there's some pretty strong evidence for the fact that he was actually the leaker. So this is one more example of projection by the Republicans. You know, as my mother used to say, pointing one finger at somebody else, you're pointing three fingers back at yourself. And as William Shakespeare said, thou protesteth too much. Remember, the fastest way to defend yourself is to accuse somebody else of something you've done. It shouldn't be terribly surprising that he's the one speaking out, accusing others of doing it. But I think the point that is being missed here is the fact that the Supreme Court deserves all the criticism it's getting. I mean, I don't need to revisit all the controversy over Clarence Thomas. I think that issue has been covered thoroughly at this point. I mean, we've heard about him getting the free trips from a billionaire and his relatives getting their tuition paid for by the billionaire, and Ginny Thomas trying to overturn the election and getting contracts for consulting service without her name being on it to kind of hide the fact that she's getting the benefit of it. And that's setting aside the fact that he's perhaps the original member, at least on the current court, of the sexual harassment caucus on the court. One of the leading members of that caucus, of course, is Justice Kavanaugh. And we recently heard about how there have been even more revelations about the lengths that Republicans went to conduct a cover-up of Kavanaugh's misdeeds. I mean, the fact that this guy is sitting on the highest court in the land and making rulings taking away women's rights should really give us all pause. But then you have the alleged good guy of the court, at least among the conservatives, that would be Chief Justice John Roberts, who seems to have expressed the fact that he actually cares about the institution. But it seems amazing to think that he's so concerned about the perception of the court, while his wife is earning $10.3 million from top law firms with business before the court. Kind of smells of conflict of interest, don't you think? And this is on top of the fact the Supreme Court is handing down one opinion after another, overturning settled law in a way that's deeply disturbing to most Americans. The fact that voters in Kansas of all places, overwhelmingly voted against an effort to restrict the rights of women to abortions and other health care just shows how deeply unpopular the Dobbs decision is across the board. So the reality is, if the Supreme Court is out there looking for someone to blame for the lack of respect that society as a whole is giving it right now, they have nowhere to look but at themselves. Well, if you want to see another video where I detail all the evidence showing how the real leaker of the Dobbs decision was Sam Alito himself, check out this video over here. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.